and good evening, everybody. This is your boy Cruz, the Beast from the East, and you are live with Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 TV on a Sunday night. It is 8:01 here in the Cap City, and I want to tell you, we've had a beautiful weekend. It's been like mild all weekend long, so we hope that you had a chance to get out and enjoy some of this terrific weather. And talking about terrific weather, we have a terrific show for you tonight. I promise you, my goodness, you're going to enjoy my guest tonight. She is Miss Susanne Smith, and she is a very soulful singer from Charlotte, North Carolina. She is debuting her new album, which is called Finally. We're going to be chopping it up with her. Let me tell you a little bit about her. And first, before I do that, I always have to thank our sponsors, the G Law Firm. They've been serving Richmond for over 30 years. If you need a personal injury attorney, there's no fault of your own, contact the G Law Firm at 804-226-4111. Again, that's 804-226-4111. Or you can reach out to them at theglawfirm.com. Also, we're extremely excited to have Occasions by AK on with us as a sponsor. Occasions by AK and Venue AK is one of the premier venue spots here in the Richmond area. You can get Angela Knight a call at 804-874-6881. Again, that's 804-874-6881. Also, we love our sponsors. Siri Austin Entertainments. Iris Boland is the CEO, and if you have never read one of her romantic books, you are missing it. Right after this episode, you need to go to irisboland.com, grab one of those fantastic novels, get you some nice coffee, tea, and read her awesome novels out there. So she just had one that dropped recently. And again, you ladies that like romance, Iris Boland is an awesome writer. And talking about Iris Boland, another sponsor is the Brown Book series, and they are again with Miss Shea. She basically entertains and interviews all these artists from across the land, and they're going to have what is called Raw. It's romance readers and writers experience coming up on October the 28th and 29th and 2022. All right, now that we paid the bills, we can get down to some real things here. Susanne has performed with a diversity of musicians, bands, and orchestras throughout her life. She began her music career in the opera, playing the starring role as Susanne in the Marriage of Figaro. She later migrated into other genres, including jazz, blues, and R&B. Known for her four-octave range. Y'all need to write that down, four-octave range, because we're going to talk about that. She is tremendously versatile. Susanne has performed at a wide variety of venues, including theaters, concert halls, festivals, conventions, corporate functions, and nightclubs. Her voice has been recorded on various songwriter tracks as well as jingles and commercial. Susanne captivates her audience with her delicate emotional style and fills our hearts with an incredible vocal power and energy. And offline, I got to experience some of that energy, so now I'm getting ready to bring that to the forefront. Good evening, Susanne. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I am just magnificent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we were talking offline a few minutes ago. Everybody, I said that Susanne has that North Carolinian accent here, but she threw a curveball. So you're from Charlotte, but you're originally from where, Susanne?
I was born and raised in New Jersey, just over the border from New York City, so Morris County area, and was down there till the mid 80s, I think, and then I moved down to Florida. And I'm actually a transplant now from Florida. I moved here about 2 years ago, not quite 2 years ago, right smack in the middle of COVID.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So how would you compare the three cities, where you were in Jersey, Charlotte, and now where you are in Florida?
Well, of course, my roots are from Jersey. I guess you could say I'm kind of a Jersey girl.
We were talking about that. You Jersey girls are special because my wife is special.
Oh,
You all are. You're sincere. You're get a shirt off your back, but don't mess with you all.
that's right.
So, are you near the Jersey Shores? Were you?
I actually, yeah, I had a place down there, and Seaside. So I was always around that area, Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, Belmar,
Okay.
up in Bruce Springsteen country, I guess you could say. And so
Yeah.
it was cool. I do miss that Jersey Shore though. I miss going over that bridge down there. I think it was Highway 35 or one of those that you go over the bridge.
Uh-huh.
This might sound a little weird, but you get that wonderful ocean spray smell. Oh, it's so good. And then as soon as you get over the bridge, you get that wonderful smell of creosote from the boardwalk.
Oh, my wife talks about Jersey. She said, I miss it, because they were like at Long Beach and in
Yeah,
that
a little
area.
further
So,
south. Uh-huh.
yes, uh, she still claims that New York has the best pizza. New York has the best pizza anywhere. So, are
Yes.
you on that boat too?
You better believe it. I'm a little partial to New Jersey pizza. It's thin, crispy crust, but when you got to fold it in half and all the grease, that nice Italian grease from all that cheese comes dripping down and you eat it, no fork and knife. You just pick it up, fold it, and just
See,
shove it in and just let it just drip all down.
See, Suzanne, okay, I got a confession here because she gets on me all the time. She grabs a pizza, you're right, and she folds it up and she eat it.
Does
Well,
she?
me, I get a fork. So, we're about to end this interview. No, I'm just kidding.
It tastes so much better when you use your hands.
I know some pizzas are just built for your hands and not for a fork. That's for sure. Now, now here's a real question that's going to determine whether we continue the interview or not.
Ah!
Do, so, who has the best barbecue, North Carolina or Memphis, Tennessee?
Oh, well, I can't judge on that one. I've had North Carolina and I have to say it wasn't very good. So maybe it was just the two places that I had it, but so far I'm not impressed. So I got to go up to Memphis and try there. So
Absolutely, you have to go down to Beale Street because they would. First of all, they would love for you to perform out there because during the summertime, it is fantastic. You have a lot of different artists. They do a lot of impromptu singing. There's stages everywhere, so I know you would kill them in North Carolina. I mean, in Memphis with your songs.
I would love it. I'd absolutely love it. Send me the info. Bring it on. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
have to
so ready.
tell my brother he's a musician in Memphis, and their band plays down there all the time. So I'm gonna tell him, look, I got a lady that will light up Beale Street for sure, definitely.
Thank
But
you.
yeah,
That's my kind of
Memphis
fun.
is the best barbecue capital in the world.
You'll have to send me that info. So when I go, because I don't think that's too far from North Carolina, is it? Is it?
No, no, not at all. Only because I drive from Richmond here. It's only about an 11-hour drive, but you would go through the North Carolina way
Mm-hmm.
over to Tennessee, which would cut off about maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours at top. So, yeah. And you enjoy the mountains and Smoky Mountains and all that. So, I recommend you take a drive that way.
Yes, I'd love to. I actually was out about 2 months ago. I used to raise Doberman pinchers for show and do therapy dog work and all of that good stuff. And they have an annual convention every year. It's at a different place in the country. And it was in Tennessee. It was in a little town. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but it was a beautiful drive there. It was about maybe a 4-hour drive, but just beautiful, with the leaves changing. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds like Pigeon Forge and up by Dolly
Yeah, it was just
World and all
past
that.
just past there. Uh-huh. Yeah, it
See,
was great. It
I
was
know a little
great.
bit of geography.
Yeah.
So now tell us about this amazing career. You started off as an opera singer. That's right there is just phenomenal. How did you get involved in opera?
when I was taking, after I got out of high school and I was taking some voice lessons, I had two teachers and they took me pretty much as far as they could, they said. And so I couldn't afford to go to Juilliard or Berkeley or, any of the great schools. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I started going to the county college, and then someone introduced me to a lady that didn't live far from me, and she was an opera singer at the Met. So she kind of took me under her wings and gave me voice lessons and really taught me the proper way to use your voice. And that was great. And then from there, I went on. I did some opera workshops and, some operettas and some small things. And I loved the preparation and the way that you have to exercise. All the exercises and the vocalese that I did was very good in really honing my instrument, if you will, honing my craft and using that technique. Not that you have to sing operatically, but the way that you basically work out, you train when you're using your body. It was so worth it. So I can go 5 hours nonstop without taking a break and sing.
That's amazing.
Not get hoarse, which I have to, attribute that to that training that I had. But I got out of that. I don't want to say I got bored, but it really wasn't my heart. I had grown up in an area where we listened to a lot of Motown, a lot of old school R&B music, and that was really where my heart was. So I had joined a wedding band and was a torch singer, and then started pounding the pavement in New York City, playing all the Marriotts and the Hiltons. At that time they had lounges.
Right.
And, then I got hired by 2 orchestras that they would call me whenever they needed a front or a female vocalist. And so that was great. And that's really where I got introduced to a lot of the jazz. And that's where I stayed for quite a while. And then, going on, I was in a lot of bands. I had my own band. And then, I freelanced a lot doing jazz. And then, of course, when you do festivals and that, I had worked with other bands where you're doing all genres of music. So when you play for the masses, you've got to do pretty much everything. So
Exactly. And I say you're a true lover of music because in our intro, that is a remix by a young man by the name of Elon Troutman. He does travels quite a bit, and that sound I see made you just kind of like want to move, and that's what it does.
Yeah.
So even though that you are an amazing performer, you like listening to music, and when you're in your downtime, what type of music do you generally like to unwind with?
Well, aside from R&B, I have to confess, as my heart still is with smooth jazz. I mean, I just love Grover Washington and well, Earth, Wind and Fire, of course, is, I see them as, they're just amazing. They can be on any radio station. They just cross over everywhere. But
Absolutely.
when I was younger, when I first got into it, I gravitated just instrumentally toward things like Steely Dan. They're just, a lot of it was primarily in sessions, but Al Jarreau was vocally was a very big influence on me. And then a lot of the smooth jazz I listen to now.
Right.
The women, Alita Adams and Anita Baker, just the smooth jazz and a lot of the California jazz, basically because there's a lot of vocals that, I can sing along.
Absolutely.
And
I
I
want to give
perform, so.
a big shout out to Sabrina, who is very close to you. Sabrina, good evening, and thank you
Hey, Sabrina.
for making all of this possible tonight. And we have another special guest that wants to say hi to you, and that's Costella. Saying
hello. Hi, Costella. Thank you for joining us, stopping by. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, 4 octaves sounds like an incredible range. For those that are like me that only kind of like played saxophone for a little while and don't understand too much about singing because I can't sing. Explain the different octaves and where that 4 octave range is compared to someone like Denise Williams.
Oh my goodness. Denise Williams, she's amazing. I'm not sure. Well, I guess I can get down and like you remember Minnie Riperton?
Yes, yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm above her now. And you know, as you get older, your voice gets lower. And one of the interesting things too, that one of the there's an opera singer that did an interview with Barbara Walters, not to get back into opera, but Beverly Sills had said that when I was taught, my instructors told me that your prime, vocal prime, is around 27 years old. And of course, as I got a little older, and I'm thinking, gee, am I going to lose my voice? Am I going to not be able to be as strong as I was? And as thankfully, I'm still pretty good strength wise. But Beverly said that no, your prime is in your 50s. Your vocal prime is in your 50s. So
Wow.
that was encouraging to me. So, you know, you have to stay in condition and condition it. But the opera training really taught me how to be consistent from your lower range to your higher range.
When you talk about training, Suzanne, I know you guys do a lot of breathing exercises.
Mhm.
What other type of developmental training and consistent training do you all do as vocalists?
Well, your body, and it's not just your voice, it's your whole body. That's your instrument. Like the sax was yours, guitars, you have to constantly practice and stay fluid. And the so you do a lot of, or I do a lot of physical exercise, a lot of planks, anything to build up your diaphragm, a lot of heavy breathing. I have breathing exercises. I worked for a while at Guitar Center
Okay.
and coached and taught voice there for a lot of people that were um, oh, I just lost my train of thought.
It's all
Anyway,
right.
sorry.
We do that around here.
I don't want to say it's age related, but maybe it is. All of a sudden, pew, it's
No,
gone.
it's the whole aura talking to all these wonderful people out here. No, I'm just kidding. It happens. I sometimes I like, okay, I was about to say something, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What I meant to say was that there's a lot of, I worked with a lot of public speakers. So it wasn't just singers. I worked with a lot of public speakers that wanted to learn how to project and also handicapped, a lot of handicapped children, kids with autism. So it was fun to teach them the exercises, but it's getting back to that. You use your diaphragm. You've got to just work your diaphragm a lot. So any exercises that will help you open up, a lot of breathing techniques in that. And I made a tape, uh, a recording, shall I say, of some of the vocal exercises that I used to hand out to my students, and it really helps. But it's your instrument, so you've got to keep it lubed up. You've got to keep it, strong, and that's what it's all about. It's not from here. If you think you're going to do it from here, you won't last. You'll be
Oh,
lucky if
so
you
that's
last.
what happened to me then. I would like to basically say it's my voice fault, but I'm tone deaf. So if you can help somebody tone deaf like me, you're simply amazing. I used to have this. Uh, I was probably the only preacher in America, Suzanne, that could not carry a tune. I was like, this. I can't sing worth the lick. So I stay in my lane. People like, oh, you got an amazing voice. Yeah, except when it comes to singing.
Well, that happens, but you can train your ear a little bit. Just certain things that you can do there too. But I'm the opposite of that, where I can get out and sing, but as soon as the microphone is done, as soon as the song's over, and I have to speak out, it's like, how are you doing out there? And I hear myself, it's like, oh my gosh.
That is
Just
amazing. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to talk about some of your songs. And then we actually have your remix that we're going to be showing tonight. And we'll talk
awesome.
about, your
That's
debut and
dope. I
everything.
love it.
Yes,
I love it.
absolutely. So we'll be right back after this break.
Sounds great.
The first thing that you need to do is to make sure you get yourself to as safe place as you can. Find yourself a competent attorney who practices in personal injury and will understand some of the things that you're going through. And as I tell people, for 33 years I've been doing this. I've had my own accident. So I would like to be one of those individuals that they would interview so I can at least try to find out how I can best help them myself.
What happened was a machine came down, clamped both of my hands down, and had removed 6 digits. So I was in a bad situation. I didn't know what else to do, and I know I needed some type of help, so I called a G law firm. They gave me confidence throughout the whole case that everything was going to be fine. They're not only lawyers, but they are family. Call the G law firm. I did.
And good evening, everybody. This is Cruz with Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 TV, and we're here this evening talking to sensational. And I said in my description of her, very soulful sound, and that all kind of goes together. The very soulful Suzanne Smith here. Suzanne, I tell you, when I started listening to your tracks, I won't call them cassettes because I'll be dating myself. But when I was listening to your tracks, it was just simply awesome, And I told Sabrina, I said, "Yeah, I definitely want to have her on and spotlight her music." Tell me about the debut that of finally how that came about in terms of the concept and a little bit about what finally is about.
Finally is the name of my album that's going to be coming out. My album, my LP. Although the vinyls are coming back, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, finally, we called the LP finally, basically because I'm no spring chicken, as you can see. But
N- no, I. She told me you were 24. And I said because you had to be
oh,
at least 21 to be on my show. So
that's sweet. Now that's sweet. I'll take that little fib. I'll take that home. No, but the reason for finally the name is that since I was a kid, I've been pounding the pavement. I've been walking up and down the streets of Manhattan, New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, all the metro area, just trying to get a break as a young, mid teenager, early 20s, right out of high school, just trying to get in the business. And I never got a break. I just was not at the right time, at the right place, I suppose. And so I just continued to do performing and entertaining, working with bands. I did some jingles, and but I've done that my whole life, and it just kind of happened now where after all of these years, I get an opportunity to go and be at radio. And fortunately, the music is working. So we call it finally. So I finally get this opportunity. And I'm really grateful to God for that. And so I'm hoping that people like it. I'm hoping they like the LP, and that'll be out the probably just right after the first of the year.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome. You know, Suzanne, we know that the music industry is extremely difficult. There's
Woo!
so that's an understatement, right?
Uh-huh.
How do you keep yourself motivated knowing that, again, like you said, you've been pounding the pavement, you've been, in all these different genres, and we've seen some artists that have, even in success, they've succumbed to the pressures of it. How do you keep such a bubbly demeanor and outlook in reference to your music and your venture here?
It's tough, and it's tough for seasoned artists that have been in this space. I see that all the time, and so being, I don't want to say green, but I am when I'm on this side of the door, the recording side. It's totally different. So it's a learning experience for me. It's got quite a learning curve, and so the added pressure of the social media that's out right now, I mean, it's really, really difficult. So to try and stay in a good mindset, I need support around me, friends and family that really support what I'm doing. And for other artists, I would imagine that they get that. And if not, hopefully they can find some support, because it can make you crazy. And it's
Yes.
never ending. It really is. It's just a totally different animal than it was, say, even 20 years ago. I mean, we didn't have internet. I mean, that didn't even come about until the early to the mid 90s. So in my case, I was running around banging on doors, making telephone calls, dropping off
Right.
cassettes or CDs, samples, and performing. And, the old adage was, let's find out where you can go and perform, or somebody might show up that's in the business that'll discover you. And nowadays it's totally different. You've got to be on all those social media, and it's constant self-promotion, and that's a lot of
Absolutely.
pressure, especially if you're not used to doing that. I was raised in a family where you don't talk about yourself. That's conceited. You just don't. So
Right.
self-promotion, to try and get comfortable with that, takes a while. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, it's not an easy animal to figure out. We have 12 Facebook pages, 3 IG pages, and several Twitter pages, and 5 Facebook groups. And 90% of the time, I'm on all those, and it's like I said, trying to first of all compete with a lot of the other stations that have, of course, that funding, and they have this
Yes.
huge staff. So funding, most people don't understand. It's a lot of this, especially when you're artists that are making your own way through here. That primarily comes out of your war chest. Is that correct?
For indie artists, it most certainly is. And if you get lucky enough to get with a big label, they might front the money, but you're responsible for it. If if you don't produce, you got to pay that money back. There's so that in and of itself is pressure.
Right.
And
So,
to
what?
constantly learn to be creative in new ways and to present yourself is
So,
that can be a challenge. And I'd love to start a support group for artists,
right. I'm
just
sure there's a lot of
for
seriously,
people to
yes.
vent,
Right.
just to get it out and to feel like they're not alone, especially when you're doing that, and you don't necessarily have your support system right there with you. I think that would be good to maybe have someplace that we can go now. We can meet online or something, and be able to share our experiences and give each other the support that we
That
need.
I see, because Casella is agreeing with you, and also Sabrina said that's a great idea. And again, you all understand each other's journey. You know what it takes. So I think that would be an awesome idea, and that you probably will have just tons and tons of artists in that particular group, especially if you did a Facebook group as well, because there are a lot of I know a young lady that she does a lot of the I guess concerts and singing. I guess that they used to call it back in the day. Here we go again about to date myself. The chitlin circuit, where
Hmm.
you basically anybody that had a stage and wanted you to perform, you did. Is that still kind of the same tenor today?
I would say I haven't found that. I mean, I moved up here 2 years ago from Orlando, and I stayed busy down in Florida. I was on the Tampa Bay side for a number of years, and it was fairly busy. And then I went to Orlando, and it was fairly busy. But the last year that I was there, prior to COVID, things really started to slow up. The venues were cutting back. They were expecting you to draw the crowd in. If you didn't bring a crowd, a following, they'd look someplace else. And then it was always about money. I was making more in the early 80s for a gig than I was, recently.
Right.
When I was in Florida. So I'm not so sure. I hope that comes back. But with technology, a lot of places are bringing in DJs left and right. And some of the DJs, they bring in these big screen TVs and they have all of the visual effects, which is all great. But, they pay them $150 or $250. And so the bands, hence the musicians, it's been tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and I know quite a few Grammy winners actually that I've worked with down in the Florida area that some of them can't even pay their rent right now. Like it's sad. So I'm hoping that turns around again and that people start really craving live music again at even the smaller local venues.
Right. I do too, Suzanne, because one, I love live music. I rather go to a place because it has a whole different atmosphere there. In fact, I was thinking about it at one time. I wanted to invest and get me a spot where I can have live music. But again, it's an up and down at this particular time. So that's why I'm like hoping that it'll turn around. People will gravitate back to live music and enjoy the performance that you guys do, because first of all, you put an incredible amount of work in it. You're super, super talented, and that talent should be heard by the world and exposed to our younger generation that all they know is synthesizers and,
Right.
making beats and things like that. They need to learn the art of music, in my opinion.
Absolutely. That whole, I agree with you 100%. That whole idea just resonates with me. Let's bring the real music back.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to set up this next song. I want you to set it up for us. It is a remix, and this remix, I think, is a tremendous crossover, no matter how young or how old you are. And it's entitled "I'm Not the One." Tell us about that.
Which remix now? Because we did two, actually. There was one actually that went out first, the original one that went out first, and then we changed it up and made it a little crazier and added the "No Can Do" part of the whole.
Yes, that's the one. The No Can Do remix.
Is that the one? So
yes.
Yeah, that's the one. So, and then we did a third one that was just released on Friday that we had Crazy on there.
Wow.
So that was, he does a little bit of rapping on there. And I was really honored to have him come and sit in on that one. So if you haven't heard that one yet, that one's crazy.
I'm definitely going to check that one out. Well, right now we have Not the One, No Can Do.
No Can Do.
You guys are going to enjoy this. So sit back and enjoy. And if you feel like dancing, go ahead and dance. We're all going to dance tonight. Here
I'm
it is.
not the one.
You can tell me what you're feeling, why you chose to take this road, but I'm not willing to give up myself for you to take control. You've been saying all the words, but I'm still circling in love. Baby, you don't even take the trouble. To keep me there beside you, honey, I don't think you even try. It's okay, cause I don't care if you get over in a while. I don't care if you get rid. I don't care if you get older. I don't care why you're so weak. Oh, I'm not the one who will take you back. So weak. you back so easily.
I can't go further.
You can tell me what you're feeling, why you chose to take this road, but I'm not willing to give up myself for you to take control. You've been saying all the words, but I'm still circling in love. Baby, you don't even take the trouble.
I can't go
Oh, you don't even take the trouble to go on.
I can't go further. I can't go further. I can't go further. I can't go further. I can't go further.
Oh, I'm not the one who will take you back so easily, so easily. No, I'm not the one who's gonna take you back, darling, so easily, so
I can't go further.
You can tell me what you're feeling, why you chose to take this road, but I'm not willing to give up myself for you to take control.
I can go for that.
Oh,
Yeah, in the vernacular of the Gen X, that is Gucci. That is
isn't that
so.
fun? It was a
Yes,
fun video, isn't it?
it looks like it was absolutely fun doing, and it was nostalgic too because people going skating back in the day was a thing.
Do you remember those skating rinks? Those things were
Yes,
awesome. They used to have all the lights going and the music, and then you'd have to change direction and go the other way. I
yeah,
imagine
that
they still do that.
they do. I think I went out a couple of years ago, and it's still primarily, and it's coming back to more and more people are getting into roller skating again. So, but yeah, I love that song, and I got a
Thank
surprise
you.
for you. Right after this show, that we're going to be adding that to our regular rotation on our daytime and our evening rotations. Fabulous
Oh,
song.
that's so dope. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
thank you
I
for sure.
appreciate that.
So, where was that a portion of that video shot at? Was it different locations, different venues?
Yeah, the producer found some roller skating rinks, and they just asked some of the kids in there. They were like, "We'd love to do a video." So they played the song, and they just went out there and did their thing. It was amazing. There wasn't, I don't think there was any practicing at all. They just got right into it. So that was wonderful. And I thought, gee, I should get out there and said, no.
Now, your voice in that was simply amazing. I was like, in fact, I got to, you know what, Suzanne? I generally don't do this, but stay with me for about a couple more minutes because I want to play that again. Because somebody's going to be tuning in and they need to hear this because I guarantee you that song is fire. So can we play it again?
Sure.
All right, let me come on, Mr. DJ, wrap this thing up again. Let's fire that back up. Oh, you better get it, girl. You better get it.
It's all about having fun, you know?
Yes, you're gonna have several men calling in here trying to find you in a few minutes.
I'll give you that info if you'd like it.
All right, then. Here it is, everybody. We're gonna play that joint right back again.
can tell me what you're feeling, why you chose to take this road. But I'm not willing to give up myself for you to take control. You've been saying all the words, but I'm still circling in love. Baby, you don't even take the trouble. To keep me there beside you, honey, I don't think you even try. It's okay, 'cause I don't care if you get over in a while. I don't care if you get rid. I don't care if you get older. I don't care why you're so weak. Oh, I'm not the one who will take you back so take you back so easily.
You know, I hate. Go ahead and sing it for us. Again, not only are we going to be playing your songs in rotation, but we're going to be running that video on our Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 Facebook page, and we're going to be sharing that because,
Oh, thank you so much.
yes, that is a song that, again, all your songs are absolutely marvelous. Tell us about the one Lot of Love. I don't have it queued up, but tell us about that track as well.
That song was brought to me, and I thought at first I wasn't too crazy about it. And then we said, well, we could, add a little soul, put it in a soul space there, and just make it a little soulful. And so we fooled around with it, and it turned out really well. I thought we did a couple of different versions of that, also a few remixes, just to more of a popish one we had, and then we had the R&B, and then we had a late night mix, that one was a little crazy too. You can find those down on my website and also at Spotify and all the social platforms, the music platforms like Amazon and Apple, and they're all there under Suzanne Smith Music. So yes, so a lot of love. What happened with that was I had gotten a couple of awards also. I had gotten a fastest rising award from the RIAA, which was wonderful. The beginning of the year was in June, I believe, when I got that. And I got a President's Choice Award for that as well. But unfortunately, I ended up having an accident on the highway here on the interstate, and was 70 miles an hour. And I slowed it down to 50. You had to go around a construction barrel that someone, I think, purposely put it in the middle of the lane. And when I got around it, the guy in front of me, he just jetted off to the next lane without applying his brakes. And as soon as he did, there was a truck and another car that had gotten into an accident. They were stopped, and I hit it head on. I hit the truck head on. And so I had suffered a brain injury and was down. And we were right in the middle of working on this present album. And unfortunately, we got dropped. It's my fault, although God said, you know what? I need to set you back a little bit. You're just going a little too quick here with this music thing. So I'm going to scare you. So anyway, I recovered from that, and we went right back into the studio when I was well enough. And so we're finishing that. But it was unfortunate for that particular song that it was doing quite well. We had made it on the charts. I think we made it to number 18 on the Indie Soul chart, 18 or 19 on the Indie Soul chart. And then, of course, I couldn't go out and perform or really work the record. But it was still a great recording, I thought. And it's still up, at retail. And they still play it on the radios around the country and around the world.
We're going to have to drop that one too and add that to the rotation. But, thanking God that you survived that. You're back. You're doing the damn thing, actually, Suzanne. So we want to say thank you so much. So what's
Yes, I am so
next?
blessed, and I'm so thankful that
Yes.
that I was able to come out of that.
Amen. So what's next for Suzanne Smith Music?
Well, we're pretty much wrapped up with this LP, so I'm excited to get that out for everyone. And then next year, I've got a couple of tours that we're working on, and there will be an indie soul tour. I think there's 4, as far as I'm understanding it. It's not finalized as far as the dates and the places, but I think there's going to be there'll be a tour that will someplace in California. I'm not sure if it's LA or San Francisco. There'll be one in the East Coast, maybe not New York, but somewhere in that vicinity. Most likely Atlanta, and then
Okay.
someplace maybe in the Midwest. I'm not sure if it'll be Detroit or Chicago or someplace out there. So that's going to be exciting, and that'll be probably mid-spring, as far as I'm understanding so far. So, and
That's
I'll have all that
awesome.
information once we get that. That'll be on my website, SuzanneSmithMusic.com.
Absolutely.
And
We have it scrolling at the bottom there as well. So, Suzanne, any shout outs that you want to give at this time as we close out this evening?
Absolutely. I would like to give a shout out to, of course, my producer, Mr. Chris Clay. He's been amazing. He's an amazing songwriter in his own right, as well as just a phenomenal producer. Very hardworking man. The guy doesn't sleep. I don't know how he does it, but so thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, Chris. My best friend, Christine, down in Florida. We were talking about a support system, and if it wasn't for her, I'm not sure I would have made it through the first stage of this, because it was, when you're new and everything has changed from when you remember it, when you were out. It's just all this social media, like I said, and she's really been a guiding light for me. So thank you, Christine. I love you and miss you. And then, of course, I have to thank Sabrina. Sabrina Taylor has been wonderful as far as helping me with social media and steering me in the right way. So yes, a shout out to you. I don't know if she's still with us, but
Yes, she's still there.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and she's a wonderful, talented lady as well, and has a super program, Unsigned Artist, that airs on
Yes,
our channel.
yes.
So,
And she has her own website, and you can always find her on my pages too. You'll see her name pop up here and there, and just click it on and follow her.
absolutely. Well, Sabrina, I want to thank you for having Suzanne, and Suzanne. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know that you have some things that you're going to be working on, but we want to have you back when you're
Thank you.
dropping some more. I love your energy, love that smile, and
Thanks.
that soulfulness is just you.
Ow! Yes, I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. And I'm really appreciating. I also want to give a shout out to all the indie artists that have been supporting me along my journey too. Thank you so much. There's so many phenomenal indie artists. So those of you who are listening, please support the indie culture. We do this with our own money. We work our butts off beyond belief. And I appreciate all of the artists. And I hope that everyone listening will not only support me, but all of the indie artists that are out there. It's so very important that we need your support.
Absolutely.
And
And
so
what
if
would you say to them, so that those that are aspiring to continue to work in this musical field, what if there's one thing you could say to them now, what would that be in closing?
Well, everybody tells you to stay on your grind and stay focused, which for me, I'm ADD. So I'm a little hyper, and I lose my focus a lot. But more importantly, Kenji Miyazawa was a writer and a poet and a philosopher. And I just came across this today, and I thought this resonated with me. He wrote, "Embrace pain and burn it as fuel." And so
Wow.
if you're feeling pain, whether it's depression or you're tired or you're just not feeling right, or and I'm thinking emotionally while you're on your journey here, just think about that. I'm doing the same. So embrace the pain and burn it as fuel. Just think about that, and have faith, trust and believe, and just keep going. Just be laser focused, and just keep going and look for that support. And you
Right.
can always email me or message me. You can email me at it's info@susannesmithmusic.com, or you can Facebook message me. My Facebook page is Suzanne Smith Music. I also have my profile pages, which is Suzanne Smith Vocalist. But I like my page and follow me. I'd appreciate that if you want to support one of the indie artists right here.
Absolutely.
And you
And
can also find me on Instagram. That's at Suzanne Smith Music. And I'm on YouTube, Suzanne Smith Music also, or Suzanne Smith. So I would appreciate it. And
so is it going to be any TikToking?
yeah, I do a little bit of TikToking. I've got Sabrina is just like she's back there. You've got to learn how to do this, girl. It could cost you a fortune if you have other people doing it for you. You're gonna have to learn it. So maybe if anybody has a 20-year-old son or daughter that knows their stuff, call me.
Absolutely. Well, Sabrina, don't you go anywhere. I'm going to say some closing thoughts here, but again, we are just delighted to have you. And generally, this is what happened. We talk about we're going to be on for 30 minutes. Next thing you know, it's an hour. But that's the way good
Has it been
conversation.
oh Lord, oh my goodness, time flies when you're having fun. This was a great time.
Well,
It did
thank you.
fly by. And I'd like to meet your wife. You said she's from Jersey. We'll have to go out and have some pizza.
Absolutely. Or, come, we're in Richmond. So, if
Not
you're ever
far.
traveling this way, stop on by. We'll go out and just, have a great time. And I am, again, looking for a venue where I can bring indie artists. I'd love to have you, Castile, Natalie, many of the local indie artists that we support. So stay tuned. I'm working on some things.
Awesome. I appreciate it. And please, everybody, when my LP comes out, if you would just shoot me a message or something and let me know what you like. It's really more of an experiment. We put out, it's like a hodgepodge of different styles. So please let me know which ones that you like. And so I can set myself up for the next LP that's going to hopefully come out maybe by summertime. And one real quick thing, I do want to give a shout out and a thank you for the Orchard and Platinum Vibe Recordings, which is my indie label. So thank you very much for trusting in me. And I'll get the social media right. I promise.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Guys,
so much.
Susan, hold on just a Suzanne. I don't want to change your name. Suzanne, hold on just a moment. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. I want to tell you right now, go out to SuzanneSmithMusic.com. Some phenomenal music out there. We're going to be dropping the music here later on tonight. So tune in to Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 and you will hear her music. And I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy it to the max. And don't forget to support indie artists all over. And please support our station as well, because like Suzanne said, a lot of this is funded out of, the family war chest here. So would appreciate those that support us. And thank you to our sponsors as well, the G Law Firm, Occasions by AK, the Brown Book Series, and Siri Austin Entertainment, and Iris Bolden. Thank you all for making this possible. We're going to be back with you on next week with another fantastic show. So keep it locked here. Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 TV, and also Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 on Facebook, and also our own website at www.cruisincradio.com. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Certainly appreciate it. Be safe. Make sure that you wear your mask, social distance, and wash your hands. We want everybody to be safe. God bless you.